Alright, how's it going everyone? In this video, I'm going to share my initial thoughts on Stryfe. First things first, a rank 2 SIG 20 6-star was used for all Stryfe footage you'll see today. I totally understand 6-stars are very hard to come by, but it does seem like they're the future, and that's why I'm going with the 6-star for testing. The second thing I want to note is it took me a little while to understand how to best utilize some of Stryfe's abilities. Thanks to Cam and Karate Mike for sharing a few tips. I only mention this because you'll see several sub-optimal gameplay clips scattered throughout this video, but I'll try to call those out when I can. So let's talk about damage. Stryfe is a ramp-up champion. He increases his attack based on the number of telepathic charges he has. Telepathic charges come in two forms. Standard telepathic charges, which you may gain from landing heavy attacks, getting struck by critical hits, I don't suggest using this method, missing an attack, and when your opponent misses. You cannot gain charges when suffering from a power loss, burn, or drain. Your chance of gaining a charge from a heavy attack is increased based on your power level. If you're invisible when landing a heavy attack, you'll gain 3 charges. Also, additional charges may be gained through his SIG ability. You're capped at 20 standard telepathic charges. In addition to the attack bonus, these charges provide utility as well. I'll cover this a little later in the video. Persistent telepathic charges provide the same attack bonus as standard charges and can be gained through launching Special 3. Also, a portion of standard charges can be converted into persistent charges upon winning a fight. This is based on signature ability, similar to how AM works. Obviously, the more charges you have, the harder you're going to hit, so you'll want to gain as many charges as possible throughout the fight and bank persistent charges as you progress through a quest. Here's the trap I immediately fell into with Stryfe. You get charges from heavy, right? Parry heavy to ramp, it makes sense. While that works, it's tedious and not always practical. I found it a lot easier and a lot faster to ramp using Stryfe's invisibility from his Special 1. Stryfe becomes invisible for 3 seconds after launching Special 1. Each miss from the opponent grants 1 charge, and landing a heavy while invisible grants 3 charges. So launch SP1. It's even safe to do this into the opponent's block. Idle for 2 seconds. Most AIs will attack you while you're idle, and charge heavy right before invisibility is about to end. Land a heavy is very Ghost-esque. Plus, if SP1 connects, you'll inflict a shock on the opponent. This can be refreshed with medium, heavy, and SP2. Also, while the opponent is shocked, SP2 will deal additional damage, and SP3 will apply a concussion. So over time, Stryfe's damage can become quite potent. I hear he's very good in Abyss. But for shorter quests, I think you're going to get more bang from your buck with champs like CGR and Ghost as far as damage is concerned. Overall, Stryfe is slightly above average for practical damage, meaning pre-ramp, early ramp. Ramped up, he's just a beast. Not much to say here. Stryfe has very average durability in my opinion. You get hit, you take damage, he has no immunities, no protection, no healing, average block proficiency. Yep, that's about it. As far as suicide compatibility goes, Stryfe really isn't the best. SP1 is such a powerful tool in his kit. His ramp-up time decreases dramatically without it, so I would assume 10 to 15% health loss to recoil damage alone, maybe another 5 to liquid courage and double edge. Even with the life loss, I'd probably still run him with suicides. I use Void with suicides all the time, and it works out just fine. There are certainly champs who are less compatible. Alright, utility. Stryfe has pretty much no utility. Unless you count his ability to deal energy damage, bypass evade, avoid incoming direct damage, glance attacks, reduce ability accuracy, remove unstoppable, go invisible, block unblockable attacks, and apply shock, so maybe he has some utility. Stryfe's medium attacks, heavy attacks, and SP2 deal energy damage and cannot be evaded. Also, Stryfe reduces the potency of incoming direct damage by 100% with these attacks. Think of it like Omega Red and Night Thrasher combined. Not bad. However, I still think Omega and Namor are better damage on hit counters. Omega because of his regen and damage over time, and Namor because every attack is a counter, you're not limited to just medium and heavies. The same goes for Professor X and Iceman as evade counters. Relying on mediums and heavies can be limiting. It's why I rarely choose Night Thrasher as an evade counter. But having the ability to counter evade and damage negation as part of Stryfe's base kit is really nice. There are two ways in which Stryfe can apply concussion, reducing his opponent's ability accuracy. Consuming one non-persistent telepathic charge on the fourth light attack of a combo will apply a 20% concussion for 12 seconds. Alternatively, launching Special 3 while the opponent is shocked will inflict a passive 30% concussion for 30 seconds. While opponents are concussed, Stryfe can block unblockable attacks. I think this is a pretty cool ability, but it's hard to manage 100% uptime, and you will sacrifice damage if you continually consume charges to manage the concussion. Speaking of consuming charges, Stryfe will consume 5 non-persistent charges when struck to glance critical hits. So don't get hit, keep charges. He will also consume 2 non-persistent charges when striking an unstoppable opponent to remove unstoppable and passively stun the opponent. There's definitely value here, but I don't love the idea of doing enough damage to counter unstoppable. Bottom line, Stryfe has a lot of really strong utility, but I don't think he's the best at anything he does. As is the case with most champs in this game, Stryfe's character model is awesome. I think his basic attacks are average, his heavy attack has good range, even though it may not appear that way initially, and his special attacks are very satisfying. The more I play Stryfe, the more I enjoy him. I've mentioned a lot of great things about Stryfe throughout this video, and he is very good, but I want to be careful about overhyping him. We've seen recent champs like CGR and Apocalypse who are, in my opinion, much stronger. So if you happen to land Stryfe, spend some time testing him before investing rank up materials, and let me know what you think in the comments. That's it for now. I wish you the best of luck with Crystals or Arena if you decide to go for him. Have a great day. Thanks for watching.